You're south of Goop, right?
Southwest.
Southwest of Goop.
Southwest of Goop.
And I went to the one in Ottawa yesterday, and it's not near a residential area, and they've got a whole big row of pine trees, and I took some pictures, to keep the dust, you know, from going to town and that type of thing, so it's not, and that's my other thing is, we've got one at Ottawa that can service the north side of, because I know, we're looking at it as far as, you know, for the residents of Harrison County to be able to buy millings that close, I get that, but we do have Ottawa that people can get crushed millings from, for the north side of the county, and so.
I would like to know too, if the DNR has any opinion on this.
And I-
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to get a hold of them yesterday, and they didn't answer, they didn't return my call yet, so.
Okay,
Um,
more information collecting.
is there,
I just wanna bring up that, you know, when I talked to you yesterday, I'm Jessie, you talked about that community comprehensive plan and how that is such an important focus on Logan and,
The entire county.
yeah, the entire county,
It's
sorry.
not,
Not
that
just
actually
Logan.
does not guide us on the cities have their own.
Okay,
That's
so
what that does,
Logan
is
has a
everything
community
rural.
comprehensive plan as well then?
but this is outside the city limits.
Right, so,
So it's a
That's the only
county.
decisions we have is outside of city limits.
Okay, the whole point is that doesn't it focus on protecting the communities and improving the communities? And I don't see this bringing in jobs. I see it producing hazardous materials that he doesn't know if it causes an environmental problem or not, that he doesn't have any studies on. I just think it's extremely risky to put the community members in that position where if anyone in the town ended up developing some sort of silicosis that's from that, then what?
That's the research we want to do. We want to see what that.
And he doesn't have it.
No, but I think we have avenues that we can look at for the DNR.
I mean, you're making it sound like we're gonna be one large dust cloud waiting to come wind from the east to cover and dust the town. That's not what this is. It doesn't, we don't crush that much to make that big of a dust cloud. The machine runs at like 1800 RPM, the hammers that crush the stuff. It's a slow moving process because it's all torque, it's not speed and power. Yes, we create a little dust, but we don't create a lot of dust. We can control our dust below or off with our water systems. And we don't have so much water going that we have a slurry coming off because it makes it messier, it makes it stick, and it gums us up. There is a little bit of a science, and we can get this all shown and figured out and shown, but the concern about the dust and the silicates and all that would be something that I would assume you would get more dust and silicate when you're driving by a job site that is sawing on the interstate. They're letting all the sawdust blow because it meets OSHA requirements to do that. Because there are OSHA requirements in the world of construction about just the situation you're talking about silicates and what you could be exposed to in open air versus confined versus amounts. And we're not putting out saw like you're resawing concrete levels of dust removal. Would be this statement I would have. Now, we can get some information, we can get some video of a drone going over us going, we can try to set up a time for people to come look at it if that's what we're so desiring. But trying to get a silicate dispersal report, depending on humidity in the air, the airflow, if we're crushing concrete, if we're crushing asphalt, what we're all getting into, if there's dirt and if that, it's never gonna be the same report every time. And also needs to be remembered, we're not wanting to do anything that's gonna get us a bunch of phone calls and a bunch of people coming, having people telling us to stop because you're doing this, and us having to get out a report saying, no, technically this is that. It's not like that. It's not, we're not wanting to do something that stirs everybody up hits half the town of Logan, for instance, or the people driving on Highway 30 to start calling to get the DNR to come to us and all that. We're not doing anything to intentionally harm or bring the city of Logan to problems. Our whole intent is trying to start something that we might be able to create a few jobs. We're not Hopkins. We're not PCM. We're Harley Construction. Right now, at full bore going, we're like 27 employees. We don't have anybody from Logan hired right now. I'll tell you that because I know that. But we would love if there's a truck driver up here who's tired of going over the road but doesn't mind sitting in a decent dump truck and work for a company that will take care of them, we'd love to bring them on board. And you know what, we could start impacting the town a little bit by that. If there are some kids and getting to be a junior and not thinking college is the way, come work for us for a summer, come do some manual labor. You know what, if you take off and you figure it out, and you wanna get into the office side of it and figure out bidding, figure out project management, we'd be more than happy to bring someone on board and see how it goes. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, and we're trying to provide the community a more economical base for some crushed product. We're not coming, we're not coming up here to stir up a hornet's nest, that's not what our intent or plans are. And we have great concern for the people around us, and we're not gonna do anything that would purposely get people to start calling to inquire about us because we're making too much dust, we're making too much noise. We understand all that, Dave, we've been in the construction world for over 20 years. So, I mean, we do have some understanding of getting along with everybody around us. And that is not, I mean, it's not the purpose to upset everyone, but there also has to be an opportunity for some progress, an attempt at progress, let's say that. It's all, I mean,
Okay. I think we'll save everything else for public comment. Sorry, you guys.
Yeah, and as far as for us, my biggest concern about, the Board of Adjustment, because I agree with you, this isn't an easy decision for us, because I haven't had people call that are for it, but I did talk to a couple of people that, aren't against it, I should say. It's not an easy decision, because we're looking out for the economic development of our county, right? That's part of our job. So either way, whatever we decide, we're gonna make somebody mad. There's gonna be people that aren't happy or unhappy with our decision. But I don't, even if it goes to the Board of Adjustment, it will come to us after it goes to them.
We get the final.
And-
Who is the Board of Adjustment?
I can't tell you everybody that's on it.
I mean, they're affiliated with the state or?
No, they're county.
They're
county
Local
county.
people.
Okay.
They're locals.
And so what I'm asking is, I don't want to filter it through the Board of Adjustment just so that,
I think it's good to have more eyes looking at it. More
Right, but-
people looking at it and giving us, I feel we're gonna get a more educated.
but I don't want us to do that so that we don't have to make the decision.
No,
So that
I still wanna come down and look.
we can say,
I
well,
wanna visit with you folks a little more, get some more information. We're gonna save the rest of the public comment until the public comment section.
And who'll
So
be
if you
able to
circle
sit?
yes, then
Yes.
get 3 minutes.
Why, have you tried to find a location that's not right next to a town? I mean, why does this have to be located right by
A
Logan?
lot of times these kind of things happen because there's somebody wanting to buy the ground and they find somebody that's willing to sell it to them. That's,
and we'd
Not
like,
probably
most
cheap.
of it.
and we'd like a little bit of visibility so people know there's property.
like I said, I don't want us to be putting it through the Board of Adjustment so that we can get a different opinion than the,
No,
planning and zoning, and then we give ourselves an out.
I really wish planning and zoning could look at it again with more research into it.
But-
I don't think that's a possibility. I think the only avenue is to go back to the Board of Adjustment. I don't think planning and zoning can look at it again
No.
with more information. So, we're looking at the process. It might not even be able to go to the Board of Adjustment.
I don't think it is, but also I would like us to do things on the level playing field as far as we said, the reasons we didn't do Dollar General were the floodplain, it was in the floodplain. We were concerned
The
about,
reason I voted no on the Dollar General,
can you let me finish?
quit trying to say that I did something for the reason I didn't do it.
I'm talking about the reason, the 5 reasons we.
There was only one reason I voted no on that, and that was because of the comp plan.
We talked about ag ground. We had Sarah gave a fairly lengthy comment about ag ground, staying ag. We talked about the jobs for Harrison County residents. We talked about the increase in the tax base, if we'd have put that in. The truck traffic and the floodplain. Those are 5 things that we talked about. That why Dollar General. And so those are the 5 exact same things here, so I just wanna consider those 5 things, during this.
Can you go into that a little more, the 5 things?
The floodplain, it was in the floodplain, the truck traffic was a huge one. The increase in the tax base, it would have increased the tax base to allow that. We're talking about increasing the tax base for this. Jobs for Harrison County and the ag ground staying ag.
I think we also talked about community support too, didn't
Right. Right. And, well, we talked about communities,
we? Community impact.
community impact, and we talked about, the fact that, I mean, the biggest reason we didn't approve, I'm not saying me, Dollar General was because we had, you know, a petition with 300 signatures. Cause that should count for something. The comp plan, and the comp plan, what you said, Brian, about the comp plan, that's why you didn't do the Dollar General. But the comp plan is not set in stone, that you,
No, but
if
that
it's,
is a map for us, because the people of Harrison County put that together.
the people being about 14 to 15
It's
people.
open to everybody, anybody that has interest in it has the opportunity. I think
Right.
They had at least 3 meetings, if not 4, you sat on that board.
Mhm.
They put public notices out for people to come in and give input, so that is as
But-
grassroots as it gets, that is representative government, they're telling us how they want the county laid out.
But if those 14, there was maybe some meetings, there might have been 20 people. So those 20 people get to decide where you do or don't get to, it's a roadmap, but it doesn't mean you have to go down this road.
Everyone had the opportunity.
Right, but not everybody put that together. So to say that it was the people of Harrison County that did that comp plan isn't necessarily, we have 14,000 people in this county. And so to say that the 20 or 25 people get to say what we can and can't have.
That's why it's important for everybody to be involved.
Right, but they're also involved now, and the people are, if there are people that are saying they don't want it, it's going to affect them negatively. And we do the research and so why wouldn't we, if we listen to the 20, let's say 20, let's be generous, and 20 people that help do the comp plan, why wouldn't we listen to the 25 or 50 or however many people, I mean, we listened then, we listened when we turned down Dollar General, so why wouldn't we listen now?
Okay, I still want more research. That's
Right,
what
I do too, but,
Anything else?
Okay. John, you had 2 things that didn't get done, so we're gonna have you come in, back up on the agenda to the 2 things that didn't.
Yeah, we held up because you weren't here.
Oh, sorry.
So on Melody Oaks, what are your plans with those funds? Are those funds going back into Melody Oaks or?
Sure. So when you did the special assessment, the funds there were paid, the special assessment paid for the work. So those funds are a reimbursement for the work that was already done. Those funds came from our emergency reserves. I don't remember if there was an interest on it, payment. So you had 2 options. You could borrow from yourselves or you could bond for it. And you have an option to put interest on it if you bond. So my guess is the county probably gave a 0 interest loan from my emergency reserves to pay for that work. So that's really just kind of a reimbursement to that. If you need me to earmark that money, I'd gladly do that,
I
but,
just needed an explanation,
Yeah.
so.
okay. It's just a reimbursement for the work we've already accomplished.
but what about as far as earmarking, what you say about earmarking, I would.
It was already paid for though.
Right, it was already paid for, but the problem is Melody Oaks Road is going to crap now, and those people paid
Yeah.
for it, so could we earmark it for Melody Oaks? I mean, I know $179,000 is not gonna cover it, but,
No, if you're gonna earmark it, I would probably want you to help buy equipment we can actually maintain seal coats, so I can take care of all of the seal coats. We have those roads, we don't really have the equipment to maintain them properly, so,
Right.
yeah, I would rather have equipment to do it. We kind of stepped back on patching, we're spending almost $250,000 a year fixing seal coats. I've kind of rolled that back so we can get in there and do some segments, so, because we're doing less patching, we're gonna get in and do all of California Junction this year, then, next year we'll try to get up in Liberty Lane and do a bunch of those segments and kind of get some momentum going, and we'll be back to Melody Oaks, but at this point, Melody Oaks it's just another road in your system, and they're all needing work, I guess.
what, do you have a plan for, I agree with you that we need our own equipment to do these seal coat roads. Can you put together a plan to,
I have a 5-year
right?
Yeah, I have a patching machine on order, they'll be here in August, so that fit into our new equipment. I have a PTO-driven reclaimer coming. Only thing I'm really missing is a roller. We have a roller, we can't get an engine rebuilt on it, it's some weird engine, so I gotta get a new roller. Then I haven't figured out an agent basically to bind the material. It's either gonna be a cement treated base or some oil treated base. I haven't figured out the material I'm using for that, but yeah, by the end of the summer I hope to be into it already. I'm definitely pushing the limits of my
I like
budget.
that idea, because that's what we need, yes.
Yeah, because we have all that in Panora Road. We have a lot of seal coats failing, and I don't have the tools for those, other than bringing an outside contractor. That's just, we're bleeding out on that, and we're not really gaining ground. So I want to be able to do maybe a half mile a year until we get some momentum. Then, I want to do all of Melody Oaks when we get there, but I think we're probably a couple of years from getting into there and doing that. But I'd like to do the patching better. They deserve better patching than we've done, but most of our patching's been kind of it's falling apart in the spring, and we're just trying to keep them out of the mud. So.
Do you know off the top of your head how many miles of seal coat there are in Henderson County?
Oh, no, I don't. I was thinking it was close to 100, but I don't have that number for sure.
So, yeah, it would be better if we could be proactive rather than reactive.
Yeah, but right now, even the money, when you give me, I'm not authorized to spend it, right? I can't spend outside of my budget, so it's gonna come in as new revenues and go right into balance. Next year's budget's already set, and I'm not deficit spending, so I'm not spending it next year either, so it'd take a budget amendment to spend it.
But you
is
can
what I'm
take
saying.
that money from Melody Oaks and buy this equipment or whatever.
I would have to have a budget amendment to do that. I don't have the authority to spend that money. But yeah, if it was in there, I would love to do that, I guess, or
I'd like
trying to
to.
get it done now, but it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
I think I'll be there by the end of the summer, but I'm between two budgets trying to get that to happen, but.
So these transfers, your emergency fund paid to get the road done. And now this is just reimbursing back into your.
Yeah, you borrowed against my emergency fund to do this.
Yeah.
And Sheila said she was gonna transfer the interest she's made on it since she's been holding it.
So on Melody Oaks, you're asking for $179,210.87.
What's,
Yes.
what's the number on all?
Ottawa is $48,051.89.
Okay.
Thank you for that explanation.
Make a motion to transfer the fund from Melody Oaks assessment to secondary roads.
Second.
You want to put the amount?
$179,210.87.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Any further discussion? Roll call, Tony?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Thank you.
I'll move to approve the uniform transfer from Ottawa Lane Road Assessment to secondary roads in the amount of $48,051.89.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, I'm a yes. Rebecca?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes. Jason, you have a card?
I left it, I think I'll go get it real quick when we're done. if you'd
Okay,
like me to.
that'd be great.
Yeah, we can't, the only thing is we can't all move at the same time.
Let's do an agenda. Take Megan with us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't we have to have if we all went at the same time, we have to have it recorded, right, Megan?
You don't have to be recorded, but you would need a clerk,
Like
yes.
Republican meetings, we can same thing. Like we went on all the park runs a couple of years ago, same thing.
So you're probably gonna have to put up with 3 separate times, so we can't all come together.
Unless we bring Megan. You guys have any updates?
I have SWIPCO this afternoon. That's it right now.
Probably be
I-
about 170 miles an hour.
Golden Hills?
Yeah.
Oh. So anything exciting on the code?
Nothing on SWIPCO right now. I think I mentioned, Richard Crouch's wife passed away. He's been on the board forever. Right now, a lot of what's going on is we got another grant for the home improvement thing for the $25,000 to people to fix their houses. We got 3 new buses down there.
Should they trade off or is that too?
They usually are dead.
They what?
Interesting thing, all the goods gone out of them. An old bus.
So these are replacing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And one thing interesting, we used to get motors for $2,500, and now a motor for a bus is $9,500. So, it's a lot. So it is affecting the budget. A lot of grants going on, a lot of different cities requesting grant.
Yeah, mine was just what we talked about already, on PO 566, it's just 32,000.
Juvenile Detention Center, we continue to run second in the number of juveniles in that facility, only behind Pot County.
Not something we.
No, not something to be proud of, that's for
No.
sure.
The bad thing about the PL 566 is we had 110 we inspected. Not all of them are bad, but
Right.
there's a lot that were bad on that
Go on
list.
forever.
Thankfully that, like you said, there's money there, it's not enough to fix all of them, 235,000 about, I think. And that can only be used for flood
We'll
erosion.
talk to Luke and see if it's.
That's a good idea.
Yep, I will stop up there today. All right, that's all the updates that I have.
Right, we will go, do we have public comment?
Thank you. And if you wanna talk, you have to have signed in and circled yes on public comment. There was some confusion the other day, so.
It's like everybody.
I didn't use it.
The board will now allow up to 30 minutes for comments from the public. The board will call speakers in order in which they have signed up on the form to record. Each speaker is limited to no more than 3 minutes for speaking and must first state his or her name for the record. Comments should be directed to the board as a whole and should refrain from personal attacks or from addressing individual employees or citizens. Comments should also be limited to one topic. Detailed information about the public comment policy is available upon request. First, we have, Jack, did you want? Jesse.
Hi, I'm Jessie. I wonder if, have you asked at this certain site that he already has in place, have OSHA comes in, I'm assuming, to monitor how often? Have you had any violations?
We've never had OSHA come in to our house for my knowledge.
Yeah, no, this needs to be directed towards.
I'm sorry.
So look, if OSHA comes in, who monitors it then? To make sure that it's within the specs, as the guy last week kept using the word specs of the machine. When I look up stuff about floodplains and the DNR, there's talk of a Floodplain Development and Clean Water Act by the DNR and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. There's a storm water pollution prevention plan. Do you have one of those? Do you have a plan for when it inevitably floods? There's even, just for your heavy machinery, there should be a spill prevention management plan for if you spill diesel, if you spill fluids, whatever from that machine, do you have those in place? Again, I just go back to the guy last week said he didn't know how loud the machine was. You can Google it and read that concrete crushing machines are 85 to 110 decibels. That's equivalent to a rock concert, and I know we could hear Firefly from across town, so I do think the noise should be considered. The guy last week said that they would use about 50 gallons of water a day. When I Google how much water do they use 3 to 10 gallons per ton of material. So are they lying? I don't know. Am I just not understanding? Is Google lying? I just need help understanding this, just like you do. So I really think that there's no way to make a vote until you know everything.
And that's what we're trying to do.
And I get that, but I just really hope that those answers will actually be answered before there's a vote. And really consider the town. Again, the riskiness of it, I can't imagine any of our cancer survivors in town. You know, we all have been impacted by cancer. Young people have died recently in our community. Anything that would slightly, like we have people that don't eat, that won't eat red dye because of stuff, you know, like we have all these people that are so concerned about little things in their diet and little things in the air, and when we have something coming in that we know can cause a problem, I just don't see how anyone is willing to take that risk on our community members.
I wrote your questions down, so,
Thank you.
we can ask when we go.
Yep.
Yeah, and I tried to call the DNR this morning myself too, but you know, they open at 8 and I call them at 8:03, you know, so I'm not gonna get an answer. I just can't imagine that asphalt with all this stuff in it, if in a floodplain, there has to be some sort of plan so that if that flood water comes up and fills that area, and then that flood water recedes back into the river, we all know it's gonna take dirt. We're prepared for that. It's always taken dirt. But we're not prepared for the asphalt that's piled up there.
Exceeded your 2 minutes.
I'm sure.
Thank you. Jason, you did circle, yes? Okay. Debbie?
Yes, I'd like to go back to the, asphalt, that when it floods, and it will flood again, the water comes up within 3 feet of our basement windows and to the house across the street from us, and it's gonna wash the loose asphalt. I mean, it'll wash over and go through the tube. And so then we'll have that on our side of the road, which will, you know, I don't know what that's gonna do or anything.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't really have.
You got 2.5 minutes.
Oh, well, okay, I'll keep talking. And, the man that came, the first representative said they had 10 people. This man says, we don't have anybody from Logan, so, you know, somebody's, who do we believe?
I believe this guy, he owns it.
Okay. And then, also, I guess that's all I have to
Okay.
say, yeah.
Thank you. That is everything.
All right. Move to adjourn.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?